Alright, welcome back to a brand new video of the Targeting Individual program. Targeting Individual experience. So as the bus was pulling to the bus stop, they had it was a car with the number 32 license plate. And then as the bus pulled right there, there's another vehicle exiting out the Burger King drive-through gray vehicle again. So they use it again. I talk about how they use certain colors a lot, and you begin to see exactly what I mean. Right? Look, gray, 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 followed by a white vehicle. See? Just to show you guys that. Yeah, I see the patterns. So being able to recognize the patterns a lot. But surprisingly, right, they are red cars, right? But for the most part, it's not as frequent, using the red cars as frequent as they did before. So there's a red car across there, but it's not as frequent. So what I've noticed within the past few days, right? Actually this past week, it's Thursday. Then you have put in the department. So they always going to show up. All right. So this past week, they have not been using a lot of red as like last week. Last week they were using a whole lot of red vehicles, but for the past couple of days, gray and black. But today it's gray, black, and white. Where they'll have a few gray cars and then followed by a white vehicle and then a black vehicle. Right? And again, being able to show you the pattern, it doesn't just happen once or twice, but you see a pattern, right? And that's a pattern because, you know, randomness, particularly when you're driving with vehicles, right? Cars on the road, very random. You don't see, you know, an entire block where it's just on one side of the street, there's only gray vehicle that's parked there. You don't see that, right? You know what I'm saying? So again, so then you know it's something that's perpetrated, something that's planned, and you know, it's deliberate. It's deliberate, right? Because they're trying to convey some type of message, again, using color and color psychology to manipulate your emotions. Okay, and I understand that, you know, colors can have an extreme effect on our emotions. Not a slight effect, but an extreme effect. Okay, it can go from slight to extreme. Right? Yeah, and they know this. Okay, like I said, that's why there's what is called color psychology. Okay, and you know, the weaponization of everything. Look, gray, and what I see, white. See the pattern? Another gray vehicle. All right, you guys see the pattern? Okay, like I said, it's not a coincidence, right? And having been able to study what it is that they were doing and to explain it and to show you guys the pattern so you can see this is not a pattern of randomness. This is coordinated. And the other dude in the vehicle across there, he does the palm fixation drill. He sticks his hand out of the car window, right, with the palm facing towards me. That's why he drove to the other side over there, because he couldn't, you know, he didn't want to stay behind this vehicle. He wants me to see. That's what he did. What he did. Right. Anyhow, this is what I'm talking about. So you guys can see the pattern, and then followed by what? Now you start to see the color red. Right? Going over with the red hat on. So, if people want to believe that people don't do this sort of thing, then they're living in la la land, and obviously they're not looking at the reality. Okay? Remember, you can go to YouTube and you can look and you can see an entire town driving by a person's house all throughout the day, all throughout the night, honking their horn, keeping this person up all night. Him and his fiance, fiance or his wife, to where he had to literally install security cameras so you can show what it is that they're doing. Okay? Like I said, this is not a coincidence. All right? Okay. So the book, The Psychology of Totalitarianism, you can get it for free online, and it talks. It is a very good book. Let me tell you, I found that. I don't know how I found that book. I think I might have been watching a video that might have mentioned it, so I went to look for it, and I bought the audiobook. No, yeah, I remember what happened now. So I had bought the audiobook, right? Because I had, sometimes they give you free credits, right? Amazon. So like they'll give you free credit for Audible, right? And sometimes they'll, I have a couple of credits and I'll get this book. Shit, look at that shit. You guys see that? Like, where you going, bro?
My wicked and cool.
Like I said, I don't know what
wicked and cool. I make the AK fit in the John.
He's like driving fast. I mean, dude, you got the light. He almost ran into the back of the car in front of him. Okay? But yeah. So when I was listening to the audiobook, I was like, I gotta get the books. I went to get the Kindle version. I got the Kindle version. Right? And because why I went to get the Kindle version, because the author was speaking about, not the author, but the narrator who was reading the book was speaking about how those in power, particularly the government, the elites, how they developed technology for control, particularly microchips, right? And particularly how going forward, microchip will be used as a tool to control human beings. Okay? But little does he know that they can do that without microchip. They can do it using the electromagnetic spectrum, right? Radio wave and microwave frequencies. Okay, but in terms of direct control of an individual and hijacking consciousness and brain fingerprinting, right, which is identifying your unique consciousness, your own consciousness, they've been able to do that. It's called brain fingerprinting. And they've been able to do that for over a decade now. Even actually longer than that. Okay? Like I said, the military, CIA, DARPA, they're at least 2 decades ahead of the private sector in terms of technological development. All right, this is why China is so heavily invested in developing mind control technology, because they know how to do it. All right, and there are many ways in which they are creating. So why are you? Okay. I was like, he's out kind of close, but he's kind of parked up there. All right, but this is what they do, and they lie about it, and they say, oh, we don't have this technology. Technology don't exist. Really? So you tell me that, let's tell how long the United States have it, because China is now getting into developing it, right? And they're far more advanced than the United States was. Why? Because, technology. So they don't, now they're going through trial and error and experimentation on human beings. But the United States have been doing that since the 1950s. And it's documented. Right? It is documented. So they cannot, and for them to lie about it, particularly when the diplomats get hit and lie about it and say, oh, these weapons don't exist, we know that they're lying, because we know that they know about the existence of these things since the 50s because they've doing experiments on those things, and also because the Russians were microwaving the American embassy in 1968, and the U.S. government let it, the CIA let it, and the State Department let it happen for over a decade because they wanted to see the results, and they were lying to the diplomats, about giving them checkups and stuff like that. It was because they wanted to see the effect on the human biology, right? Not also the human biology, but also the human psychology. Right, because some of diplomats were exhibiting signs of mental illness or delusion, So, like I said, these things are not new. Again, now they break. See, now that I said about the color red, how I wasn't seeing a lot of the red vehicles. Now they start bombarding with a lot of red vehicles. It's good to be at the point where, as a TI, where I'm at, where learning what I've learned and developing defense mechanism to combat a lot of things that they've done to my mind, and to be able to explain to you guys, and they hate the fact that I recognize their patterns. I recognize their patterns very good, very well. Okay. And as a TI, if you study human behavior, like I said, thank goodness for the internet, because and YouTube also, because let me tell you, you can learn anything on YouTube. So if you want to learn about human behavior and within a society, how it can be shaped by those in power, because remember, they have think tanks that every year sit and decide how they're going to nudge the society forward, how they're going to manipulate people to where they're not aware that they're being manipulated in order to behave and think a certain way and act a certain way. Like I said, all these things are documented, right? But what happens? Because again, we tend to want to trust those in the authoritative position, because we think that they mean us good, and not to say that some of them don't, but the vast majority of them don't. They're all about money, profit, power, control. That's it. All right? They claim to care about people in society, but they really don't. What they care about is themselves, their immediate family, those within the upper levels of the society, and those at the bottom are in a caste system, right? We are in a caste system. And remember too, in order for them to treat you the way they want to treat you, they have to justify it, right? And the justification comes from their manipulation of a group of people or an individual or individuals in order to get the rest of society to become complacent in the dehumanization, the conspiracy against a person's rights, right? The covert manipulation, the covert psychological manipulation, the covert drugging, right? In which they believe that no one is going to know what it is that they did, right? But they're wrong. They are wrong. Anyhow, that's not a bus. There's a bus. Yeah, I had to take a muscle relaxer also because I have this knot in my right buttocks, right in the middle. And let me tell you, it is, and it happens because when I sit down and I lean forward, right, so it pulls the buttock muscles, and I have to be very careful, again, to avoid micro-tearing, because that is very, very painful. So I felt like, like my muscle was about to pop. So I take a muscle relaxer. Okay, I gotta check on the bus schedule. So I'll see you guys in the next video.